Today, we will share practical tips and discuss how to overcome common challenges faced in geolocation practices. So let's dive into the practical aspects of how to geolocate, which is really a fundamental skill for journalists, researchers, and professionals who need to verify the authenticity and location of digital content. Geolocation involves several techniques and tools that can be utilized to pinpoint locations accurately. In digital investigations, the ability to determine and verify locations can be the key to unlocking vital information and can significantly impact the outcomes of investigations. Whether it's validating the origin of social media posts, uncovering the movement patterns of individuals, or assessing the impact of environmental damage, geolocation provides the geographic context necessary to comprehensive analysis and decision making. Okay, but how to geolocate? As we transition into a new section of our discussion, let's focus on understanding the workflow integral to open source investigations or OSINT investigations. This workflow represents a structured approach to handling and assessing digital content, crucial for ensuring its authenticity and relevance before its use in reporting and analysis. This iterative approach not only improves the precision of our geolocation tasks, but also significantly bolsters the reliability of the investigations we conduct. Now let's explore how integrating an effective workflow can transform our geolocation practices, making them more adaptive and responsive to changing conditions and new information as they come in. So, as we will see here, this is how an open source investigation workflow looks like. First, we start with the content that we receive from a colleague or a researcher. These steps initiates the workflow where content, be it images, videos, or documents, is received from a collaborator. It marks the beginning of the verification process. Prompt and organized receipt of content sets the stage for efficient processing, ensuring that the content source is reliable and the transfer methods maintain data integrity is crucial here. Then we ask ourselves, do we use the content? Yes or no? It's about decision making always. This question determines the potential utility of the received content. Decisions are based on preliminary assessments of relevance, quality, and authenticity of the data we received. There are criteria to apply here. The decision to proceed with or discard content hinges on its alignment with the investigative goals and its immediate apparent authenticity and relevance. That's how we evaluate our information. We assess it all the time and reassess it. Here, the content undergoes a thorough evaluation against specific criteria. Is there a rights violation? Is it compelling enough for my case? This evaluation influences whether the content advances to the next stages of preservation and detailed examination. As we move to preservation, we need to make sure that we secure the content. Once the content is past the initial evaluation phase, it is preserved in a secure environment. This involves safeguarding digital integrity and preventing data corruption or loss. Maintain the original material you received and work on your own copy, always. Don't edit the original material at all costs. Then we move to documentation. That involves, first of all, record keeping. Detailed documentation of the content includes logging metadata, source information, and any initial observations noted during the prior stages. The purpose of documentation is to support accountability, and it provides a reference framework for future analysis or legal scrutiny. Organization is the key to successful projects. Record keeping, super important here. Following Hunter's master file approach, maintain a comprehensive and organized file or set of files that includes all content, metadata, and source information. This should be structured in a way that it can be easily accessed and understood by anyone else involved in the investigation, ensuring continuity and transparency. The purpose of the master file, what's its purpose? It serves as a central repository for all documentation related to the investigation. It supports accountability by maintaining a traceable record of all decisions and actions taken throughout the project. This is crucial not only for internal review, but also for defending the investigation's findings in legal contexts or public scrutiny. Structure and accessibility. Organize your master file by categories such as source, date, location, and subject matter, similar to any database. Include annotations and references, linking documents to specific investigative queries or reports. This structure facilitates quick access to information and efficient cross-referencing throughout the investigation process. Always update. You will never stop updating this master file. Keep the master file updated in real time as new data is collected and verified. This dynamic document evolves with the investigation, reflecting insights and adjustments to the investigative strategy. Then we move to the next stage, the stage of verification, where we do all our accuracy checks. The verification process involves thorough checks to ensure the content's accuracy. Is the content genuinely from the claimed source or location? When and where was the content created? Who created or captured the content? These are questions to ask ourselves during this stage. Utilizing metadata analysis, cross-references with other sources, and employing geolocation tools are common during this stage. We are starting talking about tools. We will get there soon. And then we move to evaluation, which is the reassessment stage. After verification, the content is reevaluated to decide its suitability for inclusion in the final reporting. Considerations here: this includes reassessing the content's impact on the overall investigation and its credibility based on the verification results. And now we enter the feedback loop again and this iterative process. If new content or information surfaces during the verification process, it might trigger a new cycle of evaluation, starting again from the decision on whether to use the new content. This is an adaptive workflow. This feedback loop ensures that the investigation remains dynamic and responsive to new information, continually refining the focus and approach as needed. And here is a simple checklist for geolocation, designed to guide users through the process of pinpointing the geographical context of images or videos. So let's analyze each component of this checklist in detail. First of all, on top we can see the context, right? This is the starting point of the geolocation process. Understanding the context involves identifying the background information related to the content, such as the cultural, geographical, and temporal elements that can inform subsequent steps. Knowing this context helps set the scene and provides clues for deeper analysis. In practice, context can be gleaned from the content itself, such as language on signs on the road, architectural styles, vegetation types, or from external sources like news reports or witness accounts that relate to the image or video you are geolocating. Then we are moving to the image analysis stage. This step requires a detailed examination of the image or video to extract identifiable features that can be geographically referenced. This includes analyzing landmarks, infrastructure, vehicle types, vegetation, topography, and other distinctive features. Tools include Google Earth, reverse image search engines, specialized software like forensic image analyzers that can be used to enhance the analysis and match features with known locations. Map markings, next step. Its purpose is to, after identifying specific features in the image analysis phase, the next step is to locate these features on a map. This often involves marking potential locations that match the geographical clues identified in the image. Utilizing mapping software or geographic information systems, the so-called GIS, the user can overlay data layers and markers on digital maps to pinpoint potential locations. Trial and error, trial and error, trial and error all the time. Again, we are talking about iterative processes here. Geolocation often involves hypothesizing and testing those hypotheses through trial and error. This step is about refining the search and verification processes based on feedback and newly available information. Its implementation, it might include revisiting earlier steps to reanalyze the content with a fresh perspective or new information, continuously narrowing down the possible locations until the most accurate one is confirmed. Again, we are talking about this master file approach by Mark Lee Hunter and how adaptive this master file can be to accommodate the new data or the new tests that you run. And then be creative. Flexibility in approach is key here. This element encourages thinking outside the box and considering less conventional methods of identification and verification. Creativity might involve using social media to crowdsource information or employing indirect methods like analyzing shadows and weather conditions. Creativity can really often lead to breakthroughs in complex geolocation tasks where direct evidence is not clear or available. And then the feedback loop is demonstrated here again. The workflow is always cyclical, suggesting that any new information discovered during the geolocation process can lead back to the initial steps for a new round of analysis. This reinforces the iterative nature of geolocation, where new insights can refine or redirect the investigative focus.